How many of you have ever maintained or had the experience of viewing a rose garden? Well, my grandparents have always had a great interest in gardening, and their favorite and specialty was roses. Thus, my grandparents Let me start over. How many of you have ever maintained or had the experience of viewing a rose garden? Well, my grandparents have always had a great interest in gardening, and their favorite and specialty was roses. Thus, my grandparents shared their love of roses with me, and I have taken the love and interest of rose gardening into my own heart. When planting a rose garden, you need to focus on 3 important ideas: the characteristic of the rose, how to plant the specific rose, and how to maintain your rose garden. First, according to the Master Gardener's Files, bare root roses are dormant plants that are sold to a gardener without soil around the roots. Instead, roots are surrounded with moist wood shavings. Bare root roses are also known as packaged plants. Packaged and mail-order plants may have their own cones covered in wax. This helps prevent drying while in storage in retail stores. Also, the wax will soon degrade and break away from the cone after growth starts. There are several characteristics that should be attached to or attended to during the purchasing process: the quality of the grade, cones and buds, and grafts. All plants are sold by grades and marked among number 1, 1.5, and 2. The highest and best quality grade is number 1, and the lowest poorest quality grade is number 2. When purchasing a bare root rose, you should always draw your attention to the cones and the buds. Rose plants should have at least 3 strong cones that are both heavy in weight and are plump and green and have bark of a smooth consistency. Also, always look for buds that are brightly colored on the sides of the cones. A swollen bud may cause slow growth. Furthermore, the graft is also an important part of the bare root rose. The side of the bud or graft union is a knot or swelling just above the roots. The consistency of the graft union should be both firm and solid. The root should be a bright and healthy color and systematically placed around the trunk. However, stray away from a corky growth. This indicates a disease which could prove fatal to the plant or tremendously inhibit plant growth. According to the Sunset magazine, these are the following steps to growing a healthy bare root rose garden. The first step in planting a bare root rose is to soak the roots in a bucket for up to 24 hours before planting to replenish moisture. The roses may have lost moisture during transportation and storage. The second step of planting a bare root rose is to dig a large, rough-soiled hole with sides that slope outward from top to bottom. Form a cone of soil in the center of the hole to keep the rose from sitting too low. Dig the edges deeper to help roots penetrate into the soil. Third, you need to trim any damaged roots or cones from the rose. Set the rose on the cone with the graft knot, if there is one, just above the soil level. To check your work, lay a stick across the planting hole, spread the roots over the mound, fill in with the soil, and water well. There are many vital steps in maintaining a healthy and successful rose garden. From the American Rose Society article, according to Jill Bernard, while you are waiting during the growing process, place a 2 to 3 inch layer of mulch over the entire bed, covering the bud too. This layer will keep the surface feed roots cool and moisturized. Conserve moisture in hot weather and keep weeds from growing at an uncontrollable rate. Your bare root roses should bloom in 10 to 12 weeks. By the time the new plant blooms, its roots should be developed from chemical rose foods. At this time, it is vital to use granules over liquid because it is readily available to the roots. Feeding twice as often with 1/2 strength liquids will supply instant food on a steady basis. On a first-year bush, Blooms should be removed by cutting short stems and leaving as much foliage behind as possible. Remember to water at least 2 inches in a week, and to know that water is the true fertilizer for success. When purchasing your bare root rose, always remember to pay attention to the characteristics of a high-quality rose, even if more money comes out of your billfold. Also, remember to follow the crucial steps in growing a bare root rose garden to have the ultimate success in your planting process and rose garden overall. Finally, keep in mind the ways to keep and maintain your bare root rose garden and do not fall short. And also, if you do not have an interest in roses, please remember that that the roses may produce a vast, beautiful color in your garden. And also remember to water, water, water. Thank you.